support that process in a very sustained and inclusive manner. This message is carried out to you by the National Peace Committee with support.
Please again, my message, let's give peace a chance so that we have a country called God.
GCFR, NPC Chairman, Commodore Ebitu Okiwe, retired, NPC Vice Chairman, Bishop Matthew Hassan Cooper, NPC Convener, Lieutenant General Martin Sagwai, retired.
For the elect president, let me appeal to them. Please do not sell your vote. Please do not sell your vote counts and make sure you make the right choice.
This message is kindly brought to you by the National Peace Committee with support from the European Union and the Swiss Embassy.
My name is Reverend Father Ataban Kido, head of Secretariat for the National Peace Committee. I'm also the Executive Director of the Buka Center. The National Peace Committee is headed by the former President General Sahabi Abubakar. As since 2015, the Peace Committee, in line with its mandate, has supported peaceful elections and transfer of power actually in this country. This support has started very much at the nation.
I was still watching this. Where was
it? GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please let's rise to welcome His Excellency. All camera persons, please be still. Chairmen of political parties, service chiefs, commissioners accredited to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our royal fathers, esteemed members, signing ceremony of the second peace accord for the 2023 general elections. I want to welcome His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Honorable Minister of Federal Capital Territory, the Honorable Minister of Defense, His Excellency the Governor of Plateau State, other honorable ministers here present, General Yakubu Gawan, all past head of states and president, the members of the National Peace Committee, and other former presidents, heads of state, heading the various observer teams. Political parties, chairmen, presidential candidates, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Honorable Patricia Scott, the UN Secretary General on the Prevention of Genocide, the Doyen of Ambassadors, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and the Ambassador of the European Union, the Swiss Ambassador, the United Nations, ECOWAS, UNOWAS, and all other ambassadors present. Furthermore, I welcome the Chief of Defense Staff, Inspector General of Police, the INEC Chairman and his commissioners, civil society organizations, media houses, and everyone who has responded to our invitation to come to be the chief witness to the signing of this peace accord. As mentioned by the DJ, last year, on 29 September 2022, the National Peace Committee organized the first signing of the National Peace Accord, committing the candidates to engage on issue-based campaigns. Having signed that, we monitored the compliance of the accord by these politicians, and we recorded some of the infractions that were a thing of concern. There was some lack of compliance by the major political parties. 44% of the violations were carried out by the spokesperson of the political parties. 26% by party members, 19% by the presidential candidates themselves, 11% by hardcore supporters, and 4% by the chairman of the parties. Your Excellencies, since the start of the official campaign on the 20th of September 2022, there have been 60 attacks recorded on political rallies, resulting in 9 fatalities, with the highest number in the southwest and southeast, and the lowest in the northeast and north central. This is according to data collated by the Nigeria Election Violence Tracker. Your Excellencies, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and its staff have also been target of violence, with over 134 incidents recorded, with 53 direct attacks on her infrastructure since the 2019 elections, 9 of which have taken place in the campaign period, with 1 fatality. 2/3 of the attack have been in the southeast, with other states affected, including Osun, Ogun, and Edo State. Your Excellencies, according to data released by the Commission, Imo State has 11, Osun has 7, Enugu has 5, Akwa Ibom 5, Ebonyi 4, Cross River State 4, Abia 4, Anambra 2, Taraba 2, Kaduna 1, Borno 1, Bayelsa 1, Ondo 1, Lagos 1, and Ogun State 1. As a nation, we got to put a stop to all these. That is why on 20th January 2023, we convened a meeting of presidential candidates and the party chairman to discuss the existing and emerging issues regarding the way the campaigns were conducted and the need for parties to moderate their views. Now that the election is only a few hours away, we are here to witness the second signing of the National Peace Accord to commit the presidential candidates, their party chairmen, and their parties to accept the outcome of the elections as long as it is judged to be free, fair, and credible. And where anybody has grievances, to seek legitimate and peaceful means of addressing any concern that may arise thereafter. In this regard, Your Excellencies, I want to encourage political parties to respect that only the INEC has the constitutional authority to announce the results and to ensure that their supporters refrain from disseminating fake news, misinformation, disinformation, and avoid statements that will incite violence after the result of the election must have been announced. Similarly, I urge all political parties, their presidential candidates, and indeed all Nigerians to avoid the temptation of weaponizing the use of force that are not credible to cause confusion in the polity. On behalf of the National Peace Committee, I urge all stakeholders to understand this event has the potential of setting a positive trajectory in our journey to a peaceful and more democratized Nigeria. I call on all political actors, key stakeholders, and Nigerians in general to support a peaceful transition, promote the ideals of peace and violence-free post-election period. I urge all politicians who will sign the accord to fully commit themselves to the letter and spirit of the accord. Your Excellency, Mr. President, I want to thank you for taking your time to join us at this moment of history in the life of Nigeria's growing democracy. With your permission, Your Excellency, I would want the members of the Peace Committee to please rise for recognition. Members of the Peace Committee. Please sit down. Your Excellencies, thank you very much. May God bless and protect the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President will appreciate the untiring effort of the National Peace Committee for convening this important event. This is the third peace accord to be signed by political parties and candidates on the eve of a general election in Nigeria since 2015, and the ninth overall if we include the accord signed before the commencement of the electioneering campaign in September last year and ahead of 5 off-cycle governorship elections in Edo and Ondo in 2020, Anambra 2021, and Ekiti and Osun states in 2022. The signing of the peace accord today comes at a critical moment in the electoral calendar. Campaign for presidential and National Assembly elections ends at midnight tomorrow, Thursday, 23rd February 2023. Elections will hold on Saturday this week. INEC is ready. This morning, we commenced the movement of sensitive materials to the various local government areas nationwide. By Friday, we will activate the registration area centers so that at first light on Saturday, polling units will open on time. The Commission is committed to free, fair, and credible elections in compliance with the electoral legal framework and the letter and spirit of the peace accord. All political parties and candidates are hereby reassured of the Commission's neutrality. INEC is not a political party. We have no candidate in the election. Our allegiance is to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and our loyalty is to Nigerians. Therefore, Nigerians should feel confident that their votes will count. Over the next 2 days, beginning from tomorrow, Thursday, the Commission will be holding daily media briefing at 3 p.m. This briefing will hold at this venue. The purpose is to provide update on preparations for the election and to respond to issues that may arise. The briefing is open to political parties, civil society organizations, observers, the media, and security agencies. Once again, the Commission appreciates the work of the National Peace Committee, and we urge political parties and candidates to abide by the letter and spirit of the accord. I look forward to meeting eligible voters at the polling units on Election Day on Saturday, 25th February 2023. The polling units will open in the next 2 days, if I'm not mistaken, 2 days, 17 hours, a few minutes and a few seconds, and they are ticking. May God bless our efforts.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission.
Your Excellency, Chairman, National Peace Committee, former presidents present here, Chairman, a sense of responsibility that I stand before you all on this obvious occasion of the signing of the National Peace Accord to lend a patriotic voice to this very noble and all-important pre-election commitment. More so, as it provides us as leaders, contestants, party faithfuls, and people saddled with leadership responsibilities across different spheres of our diverse political inclinations. Law enforcement agents, the umpire, observers, social media influencers, custodians of culture and traditions, religious ethos and morals to lend our voice to this cause, while at the same time make bold commitments to the peaceful conduct of elections before, during, and after. The first signing of the peace accord took place here on the 29th of September 2022, and it was based on adhering to issue-based campaigns. We monitored, observed, and made efforts to regulate the campaign, rallies, and processions. It was not a complete success because of lack of adherence. However, it had served some purpose in our efforts to mediate some of the conflicts when we remind officers of that accord. It is to be noted, sir, Mr. President, at various local and international commitments, has consistently affirmed his commitment to bequeathing a legacy of deepened democratic system and credible electoral process to the nation. He has demonstrated this commitment by constantly charging all agencies linked to the democratic process to internalize the ethics of democracy. We are appealing to all political actors to stretch their sword and borrow a leaf from Mr. President to allow the election to hold in a peaceful and credible manner. We are therefore calling on the political actors to call on their teaming supporters to conduct themselves in a peaceful manner, devoid of rancor and anything capable of jeopardizing the peaceful conduct of the 2023 general election. Lastly, we are not praying to witness another Orubebe incident here. However, if this is to occur, I implore Professor Mahmoud Yakubu to behave like Professor Ataru Jega, who had handled the situation in a professional manner. Finally, it is our prayer that contestants will emulate former President Goodluck Jonathan by accepting defeat. In conclusion, I would like to acknowledge that the peace accord being signed today represents a critical step toward complementing Mr. President's initiative in striving to have a conclusive consensus commitment by all political parties, candidates and their agents to a path of conducting credible, free, fair elections. On behalf of all the security agents, I wish to assure Mr. President and all Nigerians of our unflinching and unalloyed loyalty to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Inspector General of Police Usman Alkale Baba, for the goodwill message.
Mr. President, to address you today on behalf of the European Union. The 2019 peace accords facilitated by the National ensuring fair and just adjudication of electoral matters. I wish to commend the role of the National Peace Committee and the leadership of His Excellency, former Head of State, Abdulsalami Abubakar, since its inauguration ahead of the 2015 polls. Mr. Chairman, we are honored and proud of our partnership. For us, at the European Union, we wish to reiterate our impartiality and recall our role. We are not here to support any candidate or party. We are here at the invitation of the Nigerian government to support the democratic process. An EU election observation mission led by Chief Observer MEP Barry Andrews is deployed under Nigerian invitation to observe the elections across the country and give its independent assessment and contribution to the continuous deepening of Nigeria's democracy. As the European Union, together with our member states, we remain fully committed to contributing to making Nigeria's democracy deeper, stronger, and accountable to its people. A democratic, peaceful, stable, and strong Nigeria is in the interest of all of us. Thank you.
Why is this election uniquely important? Because you are Nigeria, the powerhouse of Africa and the world's rising star, a political, economic, intellectual, spiritual, innovation, cultural, and culinary giant. A nation enriched by your myriad of differences and strengthened by your shared desire to live dignified lives. A proud nation which has decided to take the path of peace. It is not an easy path. It is only taken by the brave, the resilient, the relentless, the courageous, the selfless. forgiveness, forbearance, turning the other cheek. It's not for the weak in spirit. It's for the strong. It's the path to justice, the path and highway for democracy. It's the path which the prayer warriors of this world, for peace first. I'm asking every person who participates in this election to be brave enough to take it. Those who lead and those who follow. Because you are Nigeria, bursting with energy and daring of a youthful people and willing to shape the future of this nation. Because you are Nigeria, in these uncertain times, stability through change and transition is vital for you, for Africa, and for the entire democratic world. Governing a country of such scale, dynamism and diversity takes enormous courage, skill and heart, and I applaud all the leaders who take the pledge today. Leadership comes with a solemn responsibility because the office of the President is a sacred trust. It is a promise each of you is making before the people you strive to serve, to put your country above yourself, to unify Nigeria for a new generation of Nigerians who can be proud of their land and thrive in it. It is a heavy burden, but this is your moment to enhance Nigeria's democracy, to show that we can live with love and respect for each other, even when we disagree. This great nation has given Africa, the Commonwealth, and the world so much, and the hour has come again to show who you are, what you care about, and what you strive for. The eyes of more than 210 million proud and hopeful Nigerians, the eyes of 1.3 billion Africans, and the 2.5 billion people in the Commonwealth, all of their eyes are on you. It is a hopeful gaze, a loving gaze, a confident gaze. Tafawa Balewa's dream at the outset of your independence envisioned a land where all our communities live together in peace and harmony, where we turn our minds to Almighty God, we seek His guidance and assistance, and by His grace we shall succeed. I am with you. The Commonwealth is with you. God bless you all, and God bless the people of the great Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Another round of applause for the Secretary General of the Commonwealth. There will be time for a vote of thanks for all the goodwill messages and all those who've made this possible. Tinubu All Progressives Congress, along with the chair. Peter Nana Umadi, All Progressives Grand Alliance, along with the chair. Princess Chichi Oje, Allied People's Movement, along with the chair. Charles Osita Nnamdi, Action People's Party, along with the chair. Sunday Oluwafemi Adenuga, Boot Party, along with the chair. His Excellency Gregory Peter Obi, Labour Party, along with the chair. His Excellency Rabiu Musa Kwankwanso, New Nigeria People's Party, along with the chair. Felix Johnson Osakwe, National Rescue Movement, along with the chair. His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, People's Democratic Party, along with the chair. Latifu Kolawole Abiola, People's Redemption Party, along with the chair. Adewale Ebenezer Adebayo, Social Democratic Party, along with the chair. Prince Abdul Malik Ado Ibrahim, Young Progressives Party, along with the chair. Chief Daniel Nwayaun, Zenith Labour Party, along with the chair. After subscribing to the Second National Peace Accord, the party chairman and the presidential candidates are kindly requested to stay back. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Inspector General of Police, as well as the chairman of the National Peace Committee, to witness the signatures of the presidential candidates and chairmen of the political parties. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, party chairmen, presidential candidates. All right, we kindly return to our seats.
This is a moment to stop and reflect on what becomes of the nation as citizens of our democracy. If unquestionable fire erupts out of the electoral process, when we instigate our followers to violence through our actions or inactions, it is therefore on this premise that IPAC calls on politicians to play by the rules. They escalate tension and embrace one another in peace, so as to instill the understanding that the election is not a do or die affair among their supporters. Today's peace oath should not therefore be seen as a mere ceremonial exercise or putting pen to the letters of peace accord. Rather, it is an endorsement of a united and peaceful Nigeria, to which maximum commitment is required through our conduct and utterances, during and after the election. At this juncture, I salute the National Peace Committee, led by former Head of State, General Abubakar, for his noble role your committee has taken upon itself to ensure that politicians campaign based on issues and citizens are also allowed to vote for candidates of their choice peacefully. May we also appreciate INEC for their consistent assurance of a level playing ground for all politicians. This election should not be seen to have been conducted free and fair, but must be seen and judged as transparent and credible by every political party and their candidates, so as to inspire the acceptance and confidence. We want to appreciate everybody here for coming, and we want to urge all politicians, all candidates, to do all to make sure that this election is peaceful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister Maxwell Mbundem, for the message of peace delivered.
So let me stand on existing protocols, as has been said. I'll just read his speech word for word. Of course, for obvious reasons, you can understand why I should stand on existing protocols. First of all, I want to appreciate members of the National Peace Committee, led by former Head of State, General Abdusalami Abubakar, GCFR, for their commitment to peaceful elections in our dear country. We have to commend them because they have established a good tradition of bringing together candidates and political parties ahead of elections to commit themselves to peaceful electioneering. Today we are here to witness the second signing of the National Peace Accord, dedicated not only to a peaceful 2023 elections, but also to a rancor-free transition. I also commend the committee for the deployment of moral suasion in their engagement with political parties to douse public tension. This is also aimed at mitigating the exponential growth of fake news, misinformation, and disinformation in the social media space. No doubt, this strategy has proven to consolidate the effort of statutory structures like the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in conducting peaceful and credible elections. Today's accord commits all presidential candidates, chairmen, and members of the political parties to accepting the outcome of the elections as long as they are judged to be free, fair, and credible. In the build-up to the 2015 general elections, myself and my successor, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, signed a similar accord committing ourselves to free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections. We also made it very clear in the second accord that we would abide by the outcome of the votes. I believe that was the way to strengthen our democracy, stave off looming violence, and bring peace to our dear nation. There is no better time to make this commitment than now, given the considerable levels of tension and apprehension so far experienced in the build-up to these elections. This is the time for the candidates and party leaders to demonstrate goodwill and impress upon it the cadres and followers that the election is not a war. Our country needs a stable and reliable democracy to be able to adequately address its challenges and provide a desired leadership that meets the expectations of our teeming populace and the international community. The world looks up to us to get our democracy right and become a force to be reckoned with in the leadership, recruitment, and governance process. We need peaceful elections to give democracy a boost on the continent, especially in our sub-region, where civil rule is threatened by a wave of unconstitutional changes of government. I therefore call on the presidential candidates, the party chairmen, and members of all political parties to please respect the voice of Nigerians and embrace the politics of peace. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we must continue to work tirelessly in our various capacities to ensure that peace reigns supreme during and after the elections. At this juncture, I take this opportunity to charge the election management body, INEC, to do its very best to ensure that the elections are free, fair, and credible. Whenever doubts build up in the minds of citizens pertaining to the credibility of elections, it creates a situation that could lead to crisis and conflicts. In the same vein, I urge the police and other security agencies involved in managing security during the polls not to compromise themselves in the course of carrying out their duties, now, during and after the elections. When the people have confidence in the election umpire and the police operatives that secure the polling processes, elections will be largely peaceful and credible. Once again, I thank the National Peace Committee for organizing this event, and I call on Nigerians to ensure that this election is peaceful and violence-free. I thank you all.
He became head of state on the 1st of August 1966 until July 29, 1975. I have ceased to say that he left office because he will correct me by saying that he didn't leave office. He said he was marched off, Your Excellency. My colleagues.
On this auspicious occasion, the signing of the Second National Peace Accord of 2023 General Election. Thank you all for your participation. Let me begin by congratulating the National Peace Committee for positioning itself as a reliable, dependable, independent mediation institution that seeks to foster and ensure peace in Nigeria's elections. Since 2015 to this very moment, the committee has engaged the government at all levels, federal, state and local government, political actors, and the public on the need to maintain peace before, during, and after the elections. I thank the members of the Peace Committee for their faith in Nigeria and the tireless efforts in working to keep this country together and viable. I also want to salute and congratulate all of you presidential candidates of the 18 political parties that are in the field of competition and other participants that are here. In every democracy, peace is a critical factor that breeds political, social, and economic progress. I passionately appeal to the political actors to embrace peace and be civil in their engagements before, during, and after the elections. Our country is at a time where it needs leaders who are committed to uniting Nigerians, coupled with leadership responsibility of bringing and ensuring the dividends of democracy to their doorsteps, to the people and the country. Furthermore, a fundamental lesson we must have learned from the past is the fact that the peace and unity of this country is non-negotiable. While I commend the INEC and security agencies for the work done so far, I call on them to continuously live up to their responsibilities in ensuring that eligible voters exercise their franchise peacefully. Before I end, may I appeal to those who are still bent on disrupting the forthcoming election to reconsider their actions, desist, and give the election peace a chance, an opportunity for a just and fair resolution of the problems at hand. Finally, I wish all Nigerians a peaceful election and a smooth transition of government as we had last time. Thank you all, and may God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Once again, let's appreciate General Yakubu Gowon for his message of peace. He's been at peace with himself since leaving office, and a formidable presence at events of this nature.
Let us cast away old animosities. Let us remember to hide ourselves. Let us remember that we are one. Let us cast away grudges and vengeance. Let us reject to pay back an eye for an eye. Let us unite together as one. For peace is all we need. has a right to life. Everyone has a right to breath. Everyone has a right to be free. Let us move beyond fear and leave hatred behind us and dwell in peace and unity. But remember, with justice comes peace. Don't forget, it is in equity that peace is found. Peace is always. Peace in our hearts, peace in our land. Beautiful peace is everything we need. Come on, brothers and sisters, let us help one another and support one another and hold one another in love. Let us care for one another, protect one another, and dialogue with one another, for peace is everything we need. For peace is everything we need today. For peace is everything we need. Peace in our hearts, peace in our hearts, and peace in Nigeria. Peace is everything we need.
For the first time, and I don't think this has happened anywhere in Africa, we have the presence of not only our former heads of state, but we also have the former president of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki, Joyce Banda of Malawi, Ernest Koroma of Sierra Leone, Mahama John, Ghana, Uhuru Kenyatta. And Uhuru Kenyatta is important because it was actually from the problems of the 2014 elections in Kenya that more or less the inspiration for the Peace Committee came about, in order that we will not be like Kenya. But since then, Kenya has still moved on. We have the Secretary General of the Commonwealth who has delivered a most outstanding speech, and those of us who were here last time she was here, I think we recommend her for a very special recognition by the President of Nigeria for her solidarity and encouragement. But we thank Your Excellencies and members of the teams of international observers and many of you who are representing the various international bodies. This is not an honor that we in the Peace Committee and all of us ordinary citizens of Nigeria take lightly. Our presidential candidates must repay this goodwill by appreciating that the world is watching at us. When the National Peace Committee came into being in 2015, it was to help negotiate and mediate peaceful elections in 2015, especially against the backdrop of what had happened in Kenya. We had fond memories of the graciousness exhibited by both President Jonathan and General Muhammadu Buhari, as he then was, who heeded the appeal of the National Peace Committee and followed faithfully their commitment to accepting not only the results, but also conducting themselves in the course of their campaigns. We watched as this collaboration climaxed with the historic concession made by President Jonathan in 2015. Almost 10 years later, the National Peace Committee is still here, and we expect that our contestants will show the same patriotism and integrity as the process unfolds. We are deeply grateful to the long-suffering people of our dear country, Nigeria. They have shown their willingness to make sacrifices by turning out in their huge numbers in very difficult circumstances and very often at the risk of their personal lives, just to cast their votes. Our people continue to invest emotionally, physically, and psychologically in political outcomes, despite the fact that the rewards have not been commensurate with their sacrifices. Let us therefore all remain resolute, because as a priest I encourage you, God sees our hearts, We also know God hears our supplications, and God will answer us at the appropriate time. Indeed, for us, for me as a Catholic priest, it is significant because today is Ash Wednesday, a day that the Christian community in particular starts its own Ramadan. So in prayer and supplication, we are hopeful that the good Lord will forgive our many failings and grant our country what we so much desire. So I appeal to our citizens to stand firm as these clouds of uncertainty and doubt that hover around us will soon give way to a brighter day. Peace is not a location. Peace is not an address. Rather, peace is a destination. We must therefore persevere on our journey to greatness. I wish, before I end, once again thank all the members of the diplomatic community, especially the European Union, this delegation led by Ambassador Isopi, who have been our main supporters. The Swiss Embassy and the Kofi Annan Foundation were with us from the beginning of this process in 2015. I wish to pause in appreciation and ask Almighty God to grant eternal rest to the soul of one of Africa's greatest sons, the late Kofi Annan, along with our own dear David Lambo, who was a staff of the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue. They were the ones who handheld us in the course of the events leading up to the setting of the Peace Committee. I also use this opportunity to congratulate our father, Chibemeka Anyoku, who turned 90 recently. He it was who summoned me on the night of January 14, 2015, along with Kofi Annan at the Transcorp Hilton, and asked me to serve as a convener of what is now the Peace Committee. Our brother, Chief Ben Obi, is here with us. At the time of the Jonathan administration, there was an Office for Inter-Party Affairs, which was also partly the recommendation of the Electoral Reform Committee. And it was they who actually bettered what is now the process leading to the Peace Committee. I want to end by thanking very sincerely the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Alhaji Muhammadu Musa Bello. He has been a very good host to us and has always stood by us and granted us unlimited access to the facilities that are under his care. I want to thank all the staff of the International Conference Center and our consultants, Media Insight, who have done such a fantastic job, as you can see. Father Athanasius Barkindo, the director of the Kuka Center, and his staff at the Kuka Center, which hosts the National Peace Committee Secretariat, have done a tremendous job because they've worked tirelessly and almost sleeplessly for the last 3 nights. I want to thank you so very much.
Please sit down. Thank you. Chairman, National Peace Accord. Back in September 2022, the chairman respectfully asked me to deliver a goodwill message in support of issue-based and peaceful campaigns and political rallies devoid of insults and personal attacks. I readily agreed because this is my personal belief and conviction that we need to dwell more on issues that are fundamental to Nigeria. Despite having no financial support from government, the Peace Committee has remained steadfast, working with relevant agencies to provide moral compass and serve as an independent agency for alternative dispute resolution on the electoral process. I commend the committee's commitment and loyalty, not only to the electoral process, but to peace generally in Nigeria. I am aware of the deep concerns that have been raised about the conduct of the 2023 general elections and the outcomes they may throw up. However, since my assumption of office, we have worked so hard to ensure that we pass on a legacy of free, fair, credible, safe, and peaceful elections. We will continue to act with neutrality and allow the rule of law to take precedence over political expediency. We have demonstrated that with the off-cycle election in Edo, Ondo, Anambra, Ekiti, and Osun states, we allowed Nigerians to decide who should govern them. We are committed to this legacy in this administration. I want to assure INEC, the security agencies, and all relevant institutions saddled with the responsibility of conducting the elections of this administration continuous support. I ask you to be firm and courageous and to abide by the laws and the constitutional provisions in conducting the elections. We must constantly improve our electoral process using technology and all the positive elements it brings to consolidate the integrity of the elections. I urge the candidates contesting these elections at all levels to respect the voice, the choice of voters and accept the results of the elections as announced by INEC, the agency empowered by law to do so. Any aggrieved candidate should resort to the established judicial processes, and we must have the confidence to trust our legal systems. I once again ask the candidates to abide by the spirit and letter of the accord they have signed today. Let me remind all Nigerians, not for the first time, that this is the only country we have, and we must do everything to keep it safe, united, and peaceful. There should be no riots or acts of violence after the assignment of the election results. All grievances, personal or institutional, should be channeled to the relevant courts. Once again, I want to thank the chairman and members of the National Peace Committee. Your committee has made a name for itself at home and abroad. This government will give you all the necessary support you need to make your work more impactful and successful. I call on all other agencies and the international development partners to give the Peace Committee all the support it deserves in facilitating peaceful elections in Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.